Hello, everybody, and welcome into a Monday edition of the Computer America Show.
3 minutes until showtime.
We'll be starting in about 3 minutes, but welcome to the live video streaming page that we have provided to you, courtesy of Otherworld Computing. We'll be starting. We're going to be talking about Doodle. The CEO of the company is in Switzerland and is standing by. And in the second hour, Ben and I will do computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. All right, I'm going to go into the chat room now.
Two minutes until showtime. One minute until showtime.
Okay. Standing by.
Weasel-like predators are taking over America again and are getting larger as a side effect.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we're definitely talking about that one.
Are these zombie weasels?
No, they're just regular, run-of-the-mill weasels.
Okay.
Weasel-like, so I assume anything in the weasel family
Hmm.
would be good. And larger weasels, so.
Hmm.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And Ben is here with us today. I think you're going to be with us for all of this week and all of next week. And then we'll be starting our shared co-host experience with you. I know you're going to be here with us Mondays and Tuesdays, and Charles Tendell will be co-hosting the show with me Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. And we've had a couple of shift changes on our correspondence, so everybody gets whom they really like to co-host with. So I'm going to we'll talk a little about that little.
I don't know what you're talking about. The fighting for our Linux show.
Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Bushy is just we were arm wrestling over him. We all wanted him. He's fun.
Larry has moved from Tuesday to the third Thursday of the month, so that's the schedule there. And we didn't have to move Grayson Hamilton. He's always the second Tuesday of the month for our Gamer Tuesday show. which you'll be hosting with me on that. So that worked out really nice. So there it is.
So if anyone has an idea for what should be now on the third Tuesday, which used to be the Linux show, if anyone has an idea what it should be, let us know.
Third Thursday. Okay.
Well, now it's third Thursday. Well, what's going to be on third Tuesday?
Oh yes, that's right. We don't know. We're gonna.
So if anyone has any ideas,
well, let's see.
newbie show, I don't know.
Well, who do we have? Who do we have scheduled now for the third Tuesday right now? Okay, well now we have guests there. Actually, we have tentatively scheduled. We have APC by Schneider Electric. We're going to talk about uninterruptible power supplies and the importance of having something like that on your computer. So that's tentatively scheduled for that first third Tuesday of the month. Let's see. Okay, anything else? You had a regular weekend, right?
Yeah, wasn't too bad.
Wasn't too bad. Okay, and
I'm assuming your weekend went great.
yes, it did. It was nice. We're getting things done. I think we'll be going back to Florida soon.
I'm so sorry. That place, I've been there. It is full of hurricanes, hot weather, mosquitoes, and lots of meth. Crazy amounts of meth.
Well, let's get started with our first hour guest, and lots to talk about, and we'll get onto that. So let's start off. Our first guest this hour actually is Skyping in from Switzerland to talk about something called Doodle. Now, you know about Doodle? Ben?
I have heard a little bit of it.
Well, Doodle evidently offers a wide selection of online solutions that radically simplify the process of scheduling appointments, ranging from the group event poll that doesn't require registration to the professional booking service. This is really interesting. Now, Doodle radically simplifies the process of scheduling events, whether they're board or team meetings, dinners with friends, reunions, weekend trips, or anything else. So Skyping in from Switzerland to explain it in more detail is Michael Brecht. Michael is the CEO of Doodle. Hey, Michael, welcome into Computer America. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. Thanks very much for having me on your show.
Our pleasure. So Switzerland, it's 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. What time is it where you are now?
We're just past 4 o'clock in the morning, so it's an early start in the day, but I hope it's going to be a sunny and warm day here in Switzerland or in Europe.
You know, I have never been to Switzerland, but I would love to go, and I think
I've heard good things of your chocolate.
we can do all the chocolate and Swiss cheese and cuckoo clocks, and we can do all the stereotypes. Exactly.
Yeah, that's all what we live off the whole day long.
That's it, exactly. Yeah, but I understand it is quite lovely there, and I do plan to go and see it at least once. Are you a native of Switzerland, Michael?
Actually, no. I'm half German, and I also carry an Australian passport, so a little bit from two other parts of the world. But the Doodle was actually founded in Switzerland, so therefore the head office and most of our engineering team are actually based here in Zurich, right away close to the lake and overlooking the mountains in the back of the lake.
Yeah, I detect an Australian accent rather than a German one.
Okay, thanks for that. Is that good news or bad news?
No, it's just if I heard you, I would just think you came from Australia. I mean, but you live in both, so both places. Do you grew up in Australia by any chance?
No, I actually grew up in Germany and in England, and
wow.
Moved with my family. I do have 4 children, so we moved to Australia for a while and came back a few years ago. And
well, it must have rubbed off. So
a little bit, yeah, it does. It does sometimes. It does.
It does, absolutely. Well, you obviously having an interesting life of travel in your endeavors. So let's thank you for taking the time and getting up early and. So let's talk a little bit about Doodle, and you said the engineers and everything. I mean, how did you wind up in Switzerland? I mean, how did that come out? If you basically between Germany and Australia, how did you connect, and why did things start in not those two countries, but in Switzerland of all places?
Well, firstly, Actually, I'm the current CEO and was appointed into the job in February this year. But the business itself was founded in 2007 by two Swiss engineers, software engineers here from a local university in Zurich. And they had the idea of actually bringing up a system that allows you to have a smarter way of scheduling or an easier way of scheduling an appointment or a meeting between 3 or more people. And so they both founded the business here in Zurich and grew the business globally using the system. And so these are more people using it globally than we actually have Swiss people. So they really made it an international or a global solution. And both of them decided to sell a stake in the business in 2011 to a Swiss media company. And the company is actually taking over most of or the majority of the business this year. So the story is Swiss, but it initially started only in Switzerland. Global solution from its very my name is actually connected since the beginning of this year with Doodle itself.
Okay, so so how did this come about? I mean, was these two engineers had a need or something they were looking to that didn't exist out there? Give us a little background behind the Doodles and how it sort of came about.
Well, I guess both of them were actually fed up in trying to organize meetings between 3 or more people when they were looking into how those processes were dealt with in 2006 or 7, using phone calls, trying to get people to find an appointment. Let's take an example. You're trying to organize your alumni meeting of your university that is consisting of probably 150 people that were in the same 3 weekends is a nightmare if you have ever tried it yourself. So that was actually the base case, saying, well, no, and we need to get a smarter way of firstly trying to solve the problem between of communication between all of those people. Secondly, trying to make it easier for everyone to, for example, connect the solution, so the appointment or the date itself, with your own calendars, and then bridging the gaps between different calendars was a main target for them. And I guess they've done a good job. It's very simple today to schedule that through a Doodle. All you do is you Doodle, getting in, schedule an appointment or schedule a meeting being called Let's Doodle or Send Me a Doodle. It really depends a little bit on the country. And even in German or in French, people use the word Doodle as a synonym for getting an appointment done between several people at the same time.
Well, okay, so basically they decided to create this service that makes it less haphazard, a little bit more a process to organize. I mean, so I can understand with 2 people or maybe even a third person. But after that, it really, when you try to manage people's schedules and find availability, anything more than that, and even with 3 people, really, it can become really cumbersome, can it?
It can, and the example with 150 is really a high-end problem. Even with 5 or 6, trying to find a slot within all of your diaries seems to be a real task these days, with all these different calendars that we use, business calendars, private calendars, etc. But also, it's really trying to make sure that everybody can see at every point in the process of organizing such a meeting. That is the ease of Doodle to actually make it happen. I can quickly show you through the process, or lead you through the process.
Sure.
it's all you need to do is basically you get onto Doodle or Doodle.com, and then create an event for yourself, like become the host of the event, and then say, well, I'd like to have a business meeting with my 5 colleagues from the sales department on either tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock, or the day after at 10 o'clock. So you have 3 potential appointments scheduled into your Doodle, and then you quickly send that off by email to all of those. So there is an automated integration for all your contacts that you click on, and then those 5 contacts get sent a Doodle to them, to their own mailbox. They open it, they quickly put in their own favorite appointment date, probably all 3 of them, probably none, probably 2. And everybody at that time can see what the time slots that you have decided as one of those 5 recipients can actually, when you can make it during that process. And that's the beauty of the system. You basically enter your dates, and everybody within your environment that has been invited can see when you are available. And that makes it both for the host, but also for all the other participants, very easy and very simple to actually come to a joint meeting. At the end, whenever everybody has finished, you just click on the date that you all agree with, and bang, here you go. It's a dead simple process actually, and comes across quite everyone. I mean, we have and we have business cases, private cases, anything between trying to get a coffee organized between 3 ladies in the morning, up to 150 alumni trying to organize their weekend out next winter.
Wow. So basically, you can almost with one glance at the Doodle website see each person's schedule in like a little grid, and the ones that where all the people or the participants line up, where there's like a little checkbox and a green area that means that they're available. Then you can kind of coordinate and say, okay, that's an optimum time where everybody can meet. Is that correct?
And you know, the way Craig explained it, it's exactly how I'm saying it. And I'm just thinking that is such a simple way to do this. And earlier when he said, you know, it's so simple. I mean, it's simple. I can't believe no one has done this before, and that Doodle just does it so effectively. It blows my mind that no one has done this before, or at least done it in this way.
I think it's pretty straightforward, and that's the beauty of the system. It's actually a product that has grown in the past years through its viral use, mainly because someone who has used Doodle as a participant in a poll has basically seen how really simple it is to use, and so most of the users that have been invited once and have used it actually use it themselves. So there's a strong virality in that whole program. And as you're right, Ben. I would agree with you. It's that simple to use. So therefore, we're kind of. I myself, when I joined the business early this year and started looking into the opportunity at the end of last year, was really amazed myself that nobody really was trying to do that themselves. The process is not as simple internally as you could think, because, for example, time zone management makes life for the programmers from time to time a bit easier. Like for us, if I understand it right, you're in different positions in the US. I'm in Switzerland. Probably I have a mate in Australia looking into the same radio show. That makes a few time zones to look after at the same time. Mm-hmm. So there is a difficulty in the process or in the programming, but the front end, and that's what counts for me in terms of usage and ease of use, is actually very, very simple.
Does it automatically take into account, you know, through IP addresses or, you know, just geolocation? Does it account for time zones, or is it somewhere, you know, before you take it?
It does. That's the beauty of it. So whenever you organize calls that are internationally between, say, salespeople around the world, or even alumni that are trying to position themselves for a reunion in New York or San Diego, that's that's all built in. So the time management or time zone management is a major asset in the product.
Okay. All right. Well, so tell us a little bit why you think the U.S. market is important for Doodle.
Well, firstly, let's look into the growth. As I said, these guys founded the business in 2007 and grew it quite substantially through viral quickly through business contacts that we use on a global scale. We have seen a tremendous growth in the German, but also the English-speaking business environment, but also private environments. And since I'm on board, we are really focusing on international growth because the market here in Switzerland is quite saturated with everybody more or less using Doodle themselves and knowing Doodle as a brand. It's a very well-known brand. You were talking about Swiss chocolate. I mean, talking to someone on the road today about Doodle, they all know what the product is. Here we go on an international growth. The US market is obviously very important because the trend in the US on the business side of things. We also see a strong growth because you do not have to register, you do not have to download anything. There is actually needed or anything. So for many private users that schedule meetings either on their laptop or even on iPads or through our apps, this is a solution that is easily used and easily uploaded as an application. And so the US market for us is big because obviously with 20 million people, you're kind of big in Europe, but we've just scratched on the surface in the US, I think. And so we're working with different ideas of how to grow us and how to really push the presence in the US market.
Okay.
And you kind of touched on it really quickly right there. No registration and no signing up and no giving out your information or creating an account or anything like that. It's just, at least just with the kind of tutorial you give there, you can just go there right now, create one, and you need an email address, but that's just for your records, just so you know where to find your poll. But you don't have to create an account. It seems like everything nowadays, if you wanted to use any kind of service, you have to create an account, provide all this information, and then you have just another account that you need to remember out there. You didn't go that way with Doodle. You just kind of here's the product and here's how to use it.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the idea behind it is that we really wanted to make that product easy to use. We obviously have a few. Well, the base solution is actually focused around that easy scheduling tool, as we said. And what, from our point of view, was important for its growth was that automatically all your contacts, etc., can be connected through it. So that's easy without any kind of registration. However, we have a few premium solutions on top. And with those premium solutions, you would give your email address just to run your Doodle and really, for example, integrate that into your calendar, etc. But with those upgraded solutions, you would then receive an even easier way of usage, mainly around business functionalities, such as the calendar integration, which is automated, or certain automatic reminders, etc. I'm happy to talk about that. But yes, your core sentence is right. We try to keep everything very clean and without any kind of registration in the beginning, just to make people use the ease of a scheduling tool. And well, the financing behind that is obviously advertisement for that platform. If you try to not have advertisement on your site, then you use a premium solution, which many people do actually.
So basically, you the free version. Well, you have a comparison on your show. You show what else with the the free or the upgraded version is on your website, correct? So you can see what the paid version offers you.
Exactly. That's exactly it. We show quite well what are the functionalities that are in the paid version. But as I said, if you want to try, just run a Doodle and have a cup of coffee with your friends organized. I mean, happy to go along with the free solution as our basis solution is.
Now, for many people, I would think that the free version just is sufficient. If you're just using it casually for just to meet up with a group of people for lunch or what have you. I mean, when do you think someone should explore the more robust versions of Doodle?
Well, more robust. It's the same engine. So therefore they're both robust, or they're all robust.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't want to correct you there, but it's more around topics that our users using Doodle frequently in the business environment typically buy a premium solution that costs $39 per year. Mm-hmm. I always call that less than a coffee a month. Mm-hmm. And here we find some very typical scenarios. Number one would be that you can automatically integrate all the appointments that you reach through a Doodle or through different Doodles can actually be exported or signed into your calendar automatically. So it's just a one click away, and all these different Doodles appear in your calendar. Mm-hmm. We also have tentative solutions there. So, for example, if you're trying to block a few appointments within your calendar, and you have, say, 6 different possibilities for your meeting within the sales environment for the next week, you can block those tentative dates in your diary. You can decide whether you want to do that or not. So there's a choice in that. One message that is usually really appreciated by business customers is that it is an ads-free solution. So our premium solution is an ads-free solution, but it also carries a custom design. So you can actually upload your own logo, your own letterhead, whatever you would like to have as a background photo, or the office building, or whatever. I mean, you basically can play around with the design of your own Doodle setup, and that is actually used quite substantially. So no ads, but your own design and setup is a big feature for our business customers. I personally like the automatic reminders and the see who is missing functionalities. Typically in a Doodle that is sent out to 10 or more people, you find the one or the other who hasn't responded within a period of time. So that is probably a human fact that within say 10 recipients of your invitation, one doesn't respond. Now, if you do that with 100 and you have 10 or more people not responding, it will be a bit filthy to actually look through all of them. So it could be a bit time-consuming. And then we have a few functionalities such as see who's missing or see who hasn't responded yet. And on a one-click solution, you actually send out reminders to all of those. So it's quite a useful tool. The more you use it, the more you get into this idea of actually trying to pick out the premium solution. And as I said, it's a coffee a month. So I try to drink less coffee, especially at 4 o'clock in the morning in Europe. And with that, I would probably invest that money into a Doodle.
No, it makes perfect sense. Now, you actually have a comparison chart of the different plans. You have basically a free for individuals, private for professionals, and business for teams. When you say a team, how do you classify that? And what is it when you're talking about a team?
Well, teams start initially actually with one person. It could be a web designer based somewhere in the middle of nowhere, trying to work with companies on the West and the East Coast at the same time, mm-hmm. liking to have their own custom design in their background for Doodles. That would be a one-team solution, if one-person team. Mm-hmm. However, usually those team solutions are taken by businesses or groups around universities, as I said, alumni associations, and they sometimes use solutions up to 100, 250, 500, or even 1,000 people, or even more. And we found in the past month since I've started that we really pushed our Doodle premium solution into an education environment, because I find it extremely useful for organizing events with students, or with, if we look into schools, of parent-teacher meetings. And in those cases, the organizations or the educational departments usually do not like to have only one seat, but they typically have, I don't know, 100 seats, 250 seats that can use that. So we have many universities across the US who actually use the system on a premium solution, and they, for example, use an educational discount of 50% on the price.
You know, I just hearing about it just now, you know, I read up a little bit on it, you know, before the show started, but just hearing about it, you know, Craig and his wife are very much a part of a volunteer organization for animals. You know, Brother Wolf. There we go. And they have a pretty hard time of organizing their volunteers for events that they do all the time. You know, because they don't have, you know, they have people who can come in the morning, who can come in the afternoon, who can volunteer here, there. You know, can only come at certain times between certain hours. And, you know, Craig was looking for, you know, use cases for this thing. I think Brother Wolf would, you know, really like something like this. You know, just someone who has a lot of people to manage, you know, and who's has, it's just like time is a very fluid thing, you know, and so for everyone who can only work at certain times, I think Doodle will be great for that kind of thing.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I think this is a typical use case for us. Many people not at the same place, really looking into organizing specific parts or slots of the diary. That is a very typical solution for doodles that are run across the board, and I couldn't agree with you more. This is a very, very typical use case that uses Doodle globally.
Yeah, I think he's right. I mean, I can see that, you know, clubs, organizations, people, because they always have to, you know, schedule volunteers, that type of thing, and so instead of somebody trying to coordinate that, or the person who's trying to coordinate that, they can be it could be a logistics nightmare when you're dealing with people who are volunteering.
Trying to deal with a couple dozen emails saying, you know, oh yeah, I could do, you know, 3 to 5, but I can't do anything else, you know, or 7 to 8, you know, that kind of thing.
I'll tell you what, Michael, we're at the bottom of the hour break, and I'd like to stay for a little bit longer as we finish this up, okay? And we'll be right back. You're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. We're talking about Doodle. Stay with us.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No Hair Removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No Hair Removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented Thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hi, this is Marty Winston for Computer America with a news tips bulletin review of Maptitude. Sometimes a product turns out to be more useful than you could easily derive from the way it's presented, and such was the case with Maptitude. This is a GIS-based, geographic information-based map authoring application that can feed on open sources like census data or custom sources like many of the things you keep in spreadsheets, layering it all together any way you tell it to. You specify a lot about the map it will present, the size, the scale, lots more. The most impressive part is the wealth of alternatives you have for the look and feel of its output. It lets you add satellite imagery from online sources, adjust the transparency of layers, and customize just about every attribute of everything shown. In short, it makes maps a natural and graphical part of storytelling for just about any point you want to make that involves a place or many places, or the distribution of things across regions. It also makes it easier for you to visualize in a more visceral fashion the implications embedded in the data it portrays on the map. If this software could ever escape the concept that it's only for special erudite applications, it could be of tremendous value to a very broad spectrum of end users. Bottom line, Maptitude software can be a powerful ally in making your point. This is Marty Winston at the News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Thank you, Mr. Marty Winston, for that. And yeah, we're here with Doodle. And
That was
Craig?
a brand new one Monday. We have another new one coming up in the second hour as well. We always have two new news tip bulletins from Marty starting on every Monday.
Oh, I noticed that. Very cool.
Okay. So you were saying?
Yeah, no, I was saying that, we have Doodle on the show, and they're a great, way just to schedule things, just get times and meetings and, calls or anything of the sort that I know, personally I've tried to get, multiple people to sit down in a room at the same time, but no one can seem to agree on a time. And, I'm probably just shooting myself in the foot with this one, but I used to play a game called World of Warcraft, and all the time, I can't even imagine, this Doodle in the gaming community would be amazing, because it's so hard. Every game nowadays is in some way social, and it's so hard because some people live on the East Coast, some people live on the West Coast, some people live in Europe and Korea. So it's not only that, but just getting everyone down at the same time on the same day to all play together. That is one of the hardest things going on right now in the gaming community, because of course you want to play with your friends, but no one's ever on at the same time. So I mean, we have Doodle on, and they're just a great scheduling app that I think has so many use cases for so many different segments of the population. It's amazing I hadn't heard of it before.
There you go. Yeah, and as I said, it's the coordination of all the different things that you said, and I think that okay. So look, we have a caller on the who has a question for our guest Michael Brett, CEO of Doodle, and he goes by the handle of I think Lunchbox. Computer America, Craig Crossman. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good evening, folks.
Hi, how are you? So, what's your question or your comment?
I'm gonna. My thought was about the gaming community too, which was just touched up on a little bit. And looking at the website, it seems very simple, straightforward on scheduling, which is wonderful. Have you folks ever thought about, because the gaming community is such a massive thing with giant amounts of revenue. People pay for voice servers, for websites. Have you ever thought about creating kind of an extension to Doodle that's more driven towards the gamers in the sense of a different layout with your GUI and things of that nature?
Michael?
Yes. Good evening to you. The line is pretty bad, but I guess I got your question in terms of whether there are any ideas of working together with the gaming community in terms of making the use of Doodle available to this peer group. Personally, I've been on board for a few months now, and my first aim was really to dig into the product and getting the simplicity shown outside its core usage for the first 20 million. I guess your ideas are perfectly right, and to tell you the truth, we are just starting to look into partnerships which help other players in the IT field to make use of our product using APIs, etc. And I think the gaming community is actually quite an international community these days. As you quite rightfully said, it's not only it's East Coast and West Coast, but it's suddenly also someone in Asia and suddenly also someone in Australia or Europe. So it is the perfect use case for Doodle, and we will have a close look into that, because obviously the gaming industry is such a vast industry, and it's a growing industry. And it's an industry where I see many touch points for actually having a successful solution together. So I appreciate your comment. We're not there yet. Well, give me a few more months.
Right. Well, my question also, I'm sorry if my audio quality is not the greatest.
You have a very noisy computer fan, I think is what it is. But go ahead.
It's just a horrible microphone, actually. That's not even any of the fans. Yeah. Actually, my question was more of driving the GUI, though, the graphical user interface. Because right now it's simple, it's straightforward, it's clean. As you know, as a former web page designer, you know, I like the simplicity and clean look of it. But the gaming community, they have a different feel to them. They like that, exciting, visually stimulating type of system, of web page design.
You should see. You should see Ben's desktop on his computer.
He's exactly right. When gamers, they want to be stimulating. They're playing games and they're amped up. They're happy. They're getting excited. So
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Right, and if you go to Doodle and you go to schedule, if you go from that amped up, visually stimulating design, and you go to something that's very straightforward and simplistic, it kind of would, kind of put off the gaming community. So what I was actually asking was, would you think about putting like, a Doodle just for the gaming community that with a new graphical user interface that would be more driven towards them?
Well, I get that part.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think you're right, and that's probably part of what I was trying to say. My idea, and I've been in the industry for quite a while, is always to make sure that the GUI, but also the processes and the whole setup actually are appealing and are useful for the ones that use it. And the gaming community, as you very rightfully said, is of a completely different mindset to someone that kind of, as a secretary in the office, that tries to schedule meetings for a board member. So here we have two different cases, two different scenarios that are completely different and have to be looked at differently. I think if we want to do something with the gaming community, and that's what I mean by saying we have to have a close look into that, we really need to see what is the GUI, what are those design features that make it interesting for gamers, because obviously gamers don't want to go into that very simplistic graph or matrix itself alone. I mean, it's quite useful, but say it doesn't appeal to eye or to the eye or to the general mood of the gamer. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I take your point. But if we want to do it, we need to do it properly. That's my whole sentence behind that. And if we want to do it properly, we need to think about design features and all of these things at the same time before we start going into that community.
Okay.
Thank you. You answered my question beautifully, and thank you, folks, for having me.
Hey, listen, thank you for joining us, Lunchbox, and I think we'll see you back in the chat room. Okay. And then we'll use and then we'll use your suggestions for our new website design. Okay. All right. 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. Ben and I are talking to Doodle. Actually, we're talking to the CEO of the company, Doodle, Michael Breck. So let me just ask you this in the next minute or so. Where do you see Doodle going as you continue to develop this? What would you like to see?
Well, we have 20 minutes, don't we?
No, actually, we're going to finish up in about 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay. No, sorry, just joking. We have a whole series of plans with Doodle. I guess on an international scale, there is no reason why we wouldn't have 200 million people using it per month instead of 20 million, because the process is so simple and there are so many use cases that we can see already used. So we have to just get the story out. So that's number one. Number two is, I would really like to improve my premium solution and move it into specific areas for specific users. So I have a few ideas of how the educational sector, for example, can use it even more efficiently. So there are a few ideas of growth in that element. And then, hang on, you guys just brought it up. If there are specific user groups that are interesting and are interested in having a connection to what Doodle can do, let's look into those areas. And the gaming market, for example, is a huge market. So we will look into really getting ourselves ready for such market areas. And I'm not talking niche, I'm talking huge markets. But my whole credo about the whole setup of Doodle is always, let's get it done properly before we move into something too quickly. So let's do it right. And once we've done it right, we will be out there with products and working together with partners on a global scale.
Yeah, exactly.
It's quite the German and Swedish mentality you have there. Do it right the first time.
Isn't it Australian?
I don't know too much about them. All I know is that they have pretty good food.
Exactly.
Okay. Take that.
Well. Again, Michael. Now, again, can you just quickly go over what the cost of the two? I know they have the free version, okay, and the free version is what is it? It's free, and basically you get the thing for individuals, easily scheduling. That's now the private for professionals. How much is that?
That is, in dollar terms, $39 per year.
And that adds calendar integration that you can send automatic reminders. You can even see who's missing, request additional information. You have end-to-end SSL encryption, and it's also ads-free. What is the end-to-end SSL encryption? That just basically more secure?
Yeah, it's basically, in short terms, it's more secure, and it's just a different layer of security on top. Yeah.
Okay. And you can try that now also free for 30 days too. You have that all set up, right?
Yeah, that's the idea. We would like to really make people understand how Doodle is useful for them.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to talk them into something. So it's the idea about having used it for a while, and I guess once you've used it, you won't let it go. So the idea is you have a 30-day free trial period for
Right,
those.
and see if it's something for you. And then you also offer the business one, which for teams, and that adds to that 3 more features. You add custom design, custom subdomain, and user management. What is user management?
Well, we have a specific set of tools for users that use Doodle in a very well, in a business environment, not only on a daily scale, but also with large doodles that they have to run. And the user management facilitates specific features that allow you to communicate between those members that have been invited. You can reopen doodles. You can actually, if you have by accident deleted something within a doodle, you can recreate it easily. So there are there's a set of management facilities for well, our professional users, and I think it's all around the business element,
Sure.
And it's a user management
and
tools.
And you also offer a custom subdomain. Now, what is that, and how does that play into Doodle?
Well, we could have, I'm not sure whether that's taken, but we could have a Doodle with your name behind it, or the Computer America radio show behind it. So therefore, the subdomain itself would be easily visible, and you could have that on your. We know quite a few thousand people who actually have their Doodle domains on their business cards, so that they can be contacted easier. So it is really allowing you to make it your own subdomain and to customize the Doodle with your own brand. Yeah. So.
All right, and then the other thing that you offer in the business for teams is custom design. How is that different? What does that add? What does that feature add to it?
Well, that's basically the feature that you can actually upload your own letterhead or photos or the business elements that you would like to have being shown on your Doodle. So it really makes a Doodle visible not only by subdomain but also by design as your product.
Okay.
And so therefore, it is like your own web page for the scheduling task.
Okay. Do you have to be fairly technically proficient to do that, or do you make it fairly easy to use?
The whole principle for Doodle is to make it really easy to use.
Okay.
So
all right.
It is around ease of use, and then we have a good support team that is based all over the world. So we have a few guys in your time zones over there in the US and down in Argentina and Brazil. So there's a whole set of support team looking after you if ever you are in trouble, which I don't think you should. But
right.
I think it's around making the product as easy as possible in itself.
And that too, the business for teams also, you can try it free for 30 days. You don't even need a credit card to do that. I'm sorry?
No, that's true.
Yeah. Now, for you have the business also gives you some numbers. You have premium users included. And you start off with 1 user, and then you go to 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 250, 500, even 1,000. But if you want to compare, apples to apples, the free, of course, is free. The private for 1 user is $39 per year, and for the business, it's $69 per year. But that's one for 1 person. If you take it to 5, for example, it goes to $159 per year, and then you can look and see what each one is going to cost you. But for that, you get the custom design, the custom subdomain, and the user management. And again, you can try it for 30 days and see if you like it, free, and see if it's something right for you.
Yeah.
I think that's very fair. A matter of fact, I'm always in respect for companies that will let you try their product for free, and to see if you like it. And usually when they let you, it's the full version. There's nothing crippled about it. You can try it and get to experience it and see if it's right for you. And if it is, then you pay for the service. If not, there's no harm done. So as I applaud that. So that's very good. Okay, the website again, it's really simple to manage. It's doodle.com, doodle.com. And if for some reason you can't remember, just go to our homepage at computeramerica.com and just select our show notes page. It's under the archives pull-down menu. And you'll see today's show, the 30th of June. and you'll see the description of Doodle there, and you can click on the link right there. That's the Doodle is a hyperlink. You can click it; it'll take you right to the web page, and that stays pretty much forever. So you, in case for some reason you forget, just go to computeramerica.com, check out our show notes page. You can see everything there for yourself. So, Michael, again, I really appreciate you being here on the show. And I realized it's an early morning for you, but thank you so much for making the effort, and we appreciate you being on here. And of course, best of luck to you and your efforts with Doodle. And you should come back in 6-7 months and let us know how things are working out for you. Okay?
It's a pleasure, Craig. Thanks very much for having me on the show. And well, it's an early morning. The sun is coming out in a few hours, so that I will actually go down to the lake and enjoy the morning and have a cup of coffee now.
Excellent. And I'm gonna have you disconnect from Skype because right now I can't do that. So I'm gonna have you do that. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Michael. All right. Have a good one. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Craig, and bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay.
I see great things for Doodle. You know, you mentioned how popular it was over in Europe. I think it could be that popular here in America.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it definitely a use. I mean, like you say, even for charity groups like Brother Wolf, I could see them.
Charity, definitely. You know, somewhere where you have a lot of volunteers, unlike a lot of fluid volunteers, because someone you have volunteering won't always volunteer, every day at a certain hour. So something fluid like that with gamers, same thing. Different people, different times. There's just so many use cases for it. Great things. I see great things on the horizon.
Yeah. Okay. Lunchbox in the chat room. He says it can be used in politics. So I guess
campaigning. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So again, Doodle, Doodle. I was going to say lunchbox.com. Doodle.com. Got lunchbox in the brain now. Doodle, Doodle.com, and check it out for yourself. They got a free version. You can try any of the versions out for 30 days and make sure that you like it. And if this is something that appeals to you, if you have a use for it, certainly something you should check out. Okay. Let's just quickly talk a little bit about what we've got here now. This is the last week. We're going to have a short week because this Friday is the 4th of July, so it's going to be a short week. But if you go to the Computer America homepage, we had Wix on the show last week, and I heard about their animations. And so I'm playing around with some animations just to see
Emphasis on playing around.
Emphasis on playing around, but I just make it's fun. If you go to the Computer America website, I've turned the Computer America logo into a propeller because it looks like a propeller. and you can see what we have.
One more web page, Greg.
Both co-hosts.
Baby.
Flying in from the right side of the screen, and it's just fun. It's a little eye candy. But I do like what Wix has done, just allowing you to add animations like that, and it's kind of cool. So you should check it out. Ben is working on a new website. I mean, using Wix.
And we have been convinced that Craig is trying to publicly shame me until we get this new website up and running. We are convinced that is what he's trying to do.
Is it working?
Yes.
Okay, good. There you go. There you go. All right. And while you're at the Computer America homepage and you're not distracted, you should check out our limited special offer from ProXPN. It's right there on the homepage. And you select it, and you'll see the ProXPN logo kind of scroll in when you go to our special page. But we're basically ProXPN is an open VPN system because whenever you go online these days, you probably realize that you and your computer are in danger of your privacy being compromised. Especially if you use an open Wi-Fi connection like at Starbucks or a favorite bookstore. But even when you're home, your internet service provider can monitor where you go and what you do. They can do that, and if you do something that exceeds their guidelines, they can block whatever it is you may be doing. And then also, if you're looking at content from other countries, well, that's susceptible to being restricted too. But with ProXPN, you don't have to worry about any of that. ProXPN is an open VPN solution hosted not only here in the U.S. but globally as well, like Amsterdam and Singapore and London. So when you go online and use ProXPN, you actually appear as though you're located in those cities. ProXPN is 100% secure. I use it. It uses a very strong 2048 bits. The encryption tunnel is 512 bits. And it means ProXPN protects you online and protects your privacy, and this is the way the internet was intended to be. So look, we want you to use ProXPN. If you have an Android phone, or for an iPhone 5S or an iPhone at all, you can use ProXPN on those smartphone devices. Matter of fact, ProXPN adds PPTP, point-to-point tunneling protocol to Android, which it doesn't normally have, but it'll add it. Of course, it'll let you use it'll let you use PPTP, if you like, because ProXPN supports that as well. Here's the thing. You can download ProXPN for free and use it, but the premium version is really a lot better and faster. Normally it's just $10 a month or $75 a year, but if you enter in the promotional code COMPAM, you'll get an additional 20% off any membership that you choose. And once you do that, it's good forever, not just the one time. Okay? So it's less than $5 a month when you go for a yearly plan. Look, you need this if you ever go online, and if you listen to the show, you know you need this. Just go to computeramerica.com, click on the ProXPN logo. It'll take you to the special page that we have set up. Anywhere you click on that page, it'll take you to the special ProXPN.com website that they've set up for us. And just enter CompAM, 20% off your membership forever. Go there. It's ProXPN. Okay, we got a lot of interesting news stories coming up.
We do, but I want to say something real quick that the gentleman who called in earlier during when we had the guests and asked that great question.
Lunchbox?
Yeah, Lunchbox. He also has a story that I think we should have him back on real quick, and he can talk about the story. And he said it's pertaining to just a non-techie trying to communicate their wishes and wills to a tech-savvy person.
Okay.
So I'm sure it's happened to everyone, and they're always entertaining. So.
Okay. Well, I see him online, and after the top of the hour break, which is coming up in another minute, we'll go to him, and we'll bring him on before the computer news. Okay.
All right.
All right. In the meantime, this is the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. And he's saying you're going to regret it. And he's got that evil laugh. What have you done to us, Ben?
I know. But I mean, there are so many sorts. If you're ever bored and you're even remotely know what you're talking about with technology, look at Google or look up Tales from IT or anything along those lines. They are hilarious. Just how people use technology and misuse it.
Is it plugged in? How about IT technical support? Yeah.
Is it plugged in? The cup holder's broken. No, I want this, but that is technically impossible. Just things go wrong, and it's hilarious.
Things go wrong. Also, when we come back, we're going to talk about if you have an iPhone, guess what? Apple has issued a brand new update, 7.1.2. That's right. We really should have an update alert. That's the update alert sound for Apple. And we'll tell you what that is when we come back. We're just going to break just for a few moments, and then we'll begin hour 2. We're going to have Lunchbox on with us. He's got a question or a comment, and I have been told by my co-host that it's something good, so we'll bring him back on. And then we'll do our computer and technology news, which is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Stay with us. Hold on. We're coming right back.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at computeramerica.com. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host,
Craig Crossman.
And I'm your not-so-yum co-host, Ben.
Well, you could be yum. Anyway, we're beginning hour 2. We just had Doodle on the show. It's a cute name, you know. Expect to see somebody. Did you ever play when you were a kid? You had the the doodle bugs. You remember the little doodle bugs in the sand?
No.
And you could just take your fingers and you like doodle bug, and he comes out and you try to catch.
No, I never had that.
Oh, okay. Well, you grew up in Florida.
Yeah. I don't know what a doodle bug is.
Okay, it's a little.
Oh, you're talking about the roly-polies.
And it makes a little volcano, reverse volcano into the ground in the sand, and they live in there. It's kind of cute. All right.
Strange.
Okay. Anyway, we're welcome to hour 2, and before we get started, I've been told that we have one of our callers. And again, by the way, you can call us at 347-884-8881 anytime during the show. That's 347-884-8881. I'll get you through. Email is live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. You can also join us in our live interactive add-on chat room from our homepage at computeramerica.com. Under the first pull-down menu, you'll see it says chat room and live video. There's also a button on that page, too, that you can click. And our chat room is, when you see it, it's our live interactive add-on chat room. Just basically, it'll ask you for a username, which is the name you'll be known by. When you go in there, click the sign-in button in your Java-enabled browser. On a Windows machine, Mac, Linux, they all work. We'll move into the chat room. And sharing that same page is our live video streaming page, and that's brought to you by Otherworld Computing. Quality products, expert support since 1988. Any Mac needs that you have, you should visit them. And I was just talking to them today. They've got a number of things here. Did you know that they're going to start selling? That they sell now. They sell the PlayStation 4 hard drives. This is something new for them. They have a 1 terabyte and a 1.5 terabyte, but it's just not the hard drive for the PlayStation 4. They give you a flash drive with it. They give you a special tools for it to the installation and more. Very complete system, so you can get all of that. You get this. They give you the screwdriver. They give you everything. And they give you an external. They have the case, the external case for the hard drive. So, if you want to, you can reuse the existing PlayStation 4 drive if you want to. I mean, it's really nice. And now the 1 terabyte drive. I don't know if you know this. It's not only a hard disk drive, but it's also it's the combo drive. It's a solid state drive. Yeah, it's a hybrid. It's a solid state drive and a hard disk drive, and a 1 terabyte form factor upgrade. So this is really, and it's $115, and they get the entire kit to upgrade your PlayStation 4 to a 1 terabyte hard drive, and they also have the 1.5 terabyte hard drive as well. You can see that now the 1.5 is an actual. It's not the hybrid drive. It's a complete 1.5 terabyte drive, but you can get either one reasonably priced. The 1 terabyte's $115. The 1.5 terabyte is $145, and that includes shipping, free shipping on all those. So check them out. And matter of fact, anything you get that's over $49 from Otherworld Computing, anything over $45, they include free shipping. Anything over that, and again, they have a lot of other things that they're getting around. Just a little teaser. They've got their Thunder Bay 4 mini drives coming out soon. Just a little teaser there. You won't see it on there yet, but that's just a little hint. But the Thunder Bay 4 drive, Thunder Bay 4 is going to be available probably by the end of the week or the beginning of next week, and then it'll all appear on the Otherworld Computing. So anyway, go to www.macsales.com. Check out everything at Otherworld Computing. For all of your Mac needs. They got the best prices, of course, excellent technical support. Check them out, Otherworld Computing, macsales.com. You'll be glad that you did. Okay. So let's go. Let's go to Lunchbox. Computer America, Craig Crossman. Hey, Lunchbox, what's up?
Thanks for having me back. Long time no see.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I just have a quick story that happened between yesterday and today.
Uh-huh.
As you guys know, I have health issues, and it's stopped me from working. So my financial situation's precarious at best. And so I sold the video card out of my computer.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing special, just a GTX 560 Ti.
No, that's the one I have.
Right, it's a decent card. It gets the job done.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was a couple of guys come down from Craigslist, and they gobble it right up because I sold it for a decent price. I get a text today stating that they're ticked at me because the card does not work and only the fans turn on. Mind you, when I gave them the card, I literally just pulled it out of my computer, walked over, and handed it to them. So it was running.
Was your computer on when you yanked it out of the computer?
Oh, yeah, I was spraying it with a hose and everything.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Keep it cool.
Yeah, okay. All right, go on.
So I knew the card was working fine, and these people were upset at me because they wanted to play Elder Scrolls Online with us. And this is the problem I run into is because I don't know how many people in here are computer technicians by trade, but you know that your word is gold. Your word is everything in this field. It's not just what you know; it's how you know how you carry yourself with your customers. You have to be honest. You know, you're out for their benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I go through a spiel of diagnostic solutions to the problem. And this person says, oh, yes, I did it all. Come to find out, his power supply was not strong enough for the video card.
Yeah, they'll do it.
Yeah, and yeah, that's exactly what I said to him, too. But this is what brings me to my problem with kids today getting into the tech field. They don't like to read. And
Wait, where am I hearing? Something sounds very familiar, but please continue. You know who you are, but I won't say it.
My friend's son was the same way. He's trying to get into computers, and he would come to me constantly with problems, and I would actually give him a website with the solution, and all he would have to do is read, and he would have his answer. I still wound up fixing the problem because he wouldn't read.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem is there's so many people who think that they're tech savvy, but they don't ever take the time to understand that technology is an ever changing and evolving entity. And these people blame everyone else for their lack of education. And I appreciate the show being here to educate everyone on technology, but in the end, even the show will never be enough. You have to have the drive to study yourself, and you'll never stop. So I had this man ticked at me saying that I sold him broken goods when he didn't even have the hardware to support it in the first place. And that was completely on him because he did not read.
Yeah.
And yes, reading the manual is old school. And I'll tell you this now, I'm 29. I've been working with computers for 25 years. I've been building them for 21. And I still read the manuals. Matter of fact, I still have my old C+ books. Actually, I have a book on C still floating around here.
So, Ben, what do you think?
What do I think? Look, if you're putting a bed together from IKEA, go on a limb. Have some fun. Don't read the instructions. Just go by the picture. Same thing with puzzles. Computers, Lunchbox is completely right. It just not really misinformation, but just uneducation. There's just so much of it. And, we try to do our part, but there really isn't a big move to get people to learn more about technology. The big push from all the technology manufacturers is, and Apple is a key, example of this. It just works. You don't have to know why it works. It just works. And the more that happens, and believe me, it's happening more and more, the less people are going to, try to learn and try to figure out why their technology is messing up.
Mm.
My friend's son, and this is another true story, his uncle gave him a Sandy Bridge Extreme motherboard and processor, 2011. And, it was a $1,500 rig, great video card, I think it was either 16 or 24 gigabytes of RAM, just a swell system. But he gave it to my friend's son because it wasn't working anymore. And what happened was that, and I've been trying to teach this kid, the proper diagnostic order of operations on how to fix things. And kids, as you know, just don't like to listen. Well, come to find out, he was about to junk this $1,500 rig, pretty much. He was only going to keep the video card, I think. And what had happened was that I asked him if he had checked the post and all, the standard procedures, Come to find out, it had a PC Doctor LED built into the motherboard. So when I finally came over to help him, fix this, I read the code, and it was just a memory stick. It was one bad memory stick, and he was about to throw away a $1,500 computer. And that is the essence of the youth today. They have been given this technology, but they don't have any clue on how it actually works and why it works, just like the other gentleman said. I think we need to promote more education towards actually learning how this works.
Lunchbox, I like what it is that you have to say. What can I say? Yeah, I do.
We get people, we get emails, we get phone calls in our off time. We get so many messages, and a lot of the calls we get are from people who teach classes, who teach friends, and they point them in our direction. And people want to learn. It's just they're other than going out and hunting for yourself, no one's going to teach you about it. You have to want to learn yourself, and I think kids today just don't want to.
No.
When I was a kid, we didn't have Google. We didn't have search engines with websites with all the answers where people have been through similar situations and have already troubleshooted these problems.
And let me guess. Let me guess.
All the answers.
Let me guess. You had to walk up the school both ways uphill too, right?
Oh yeah, and a snowstorm during a hurricane, there was a tornado.
Exactly.
It was a blast.
When I was a kid, exactly. We find ourselves becoming our parents. We used to say that to us too. But again, you make a valid. I mean, look. Bottom line is, you make a valid point. You really do, and even Ben agrees with you, which I found amazing. But he does. He does.
I agree with logic. Excuse me.
But when we try to put together a piece of furniture from IKEA, he won't read the manual. So
that's no fun.
We wind up with something that that if you try to sit on it, it's
look. Tables are meant to have 3 legs. I hold that as a core fundamental value.
Exactly. No, but listen, you make a good point, Lunchbox, and we really appreciate you calling, and we also appreciate you being in the chat room, despite of the health condition that you have, and we really appreciate you doing that. And we hope you continue to listen and also participate in our chat room. And you're always welcome on the show. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Hey, you take care. Bye now.
Bye.
All right. He makes a good point. Okay.
It's not. No, real quick.
Yes.
I'm glad we got him off, because now I can say whatever I want without any retaliation. And yes, he's still in the chat room, but I'm not going to read that right now. It's not kids today's fault about technology. Back in the day, Craig, when you first started using technology, you had to learn to code. You had to, I'm sure you had punch cards back then. You had to learn how it worked to use it. Nowadays, with graphical user interfaces and everything just being simplified to the point where, everything's automated behind the scenes, and you just have to know your password and get in, and then you can use, whatever the right application is you're looking for. Kids are not anywhere motivated to learn how to, to learn how something is performed. It's taken, just that drive is taken away because, why do I need to learn how to use this when I can get to Facebook on my phone so easily? Why do I need to learn how, the touchscreen is, why is the touchscreen a touchscreen? Why do they have to know that when they know they can just point and press? It's just not part of using a computer anymore. And it completely used to be 15, 20 years ago. I'm sure you remember, Craig.
Yes, I do. Yes. Where the mouse ruled.
Yeah. Not anymore, though.
Nope. All right. Well, let's
more work for us. More work for us.
Yes. And that's what we're here. That's why we're here at Computer America. And again,
24/7, we'll be there.
Yeah. 347-884-8881. Let's do some computer news. Tonight's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free. That's right. Everything at slimwareutilities.com website, absolutely free. It's not a freemium. There's no upgrade. None of that. You get the full working version, and it's completely free for as long as you want to use it. Really, I'm telling you the truth. We use it here at the Crossman household, and it will truly, all the different utilities will clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system as it says it does. Look, download all of them. Keep them handy if you ever need them. Run them. Keep your computer running, moving smooth and clean and fast. You'll be happy that you did, and you'll thank us for it, really. slimwareutilities.com. Okay, so evidently, according to this first story from Maximum PC, Paul Lilly, prolific writer, Google is putting quick office apps out to pasture. Evidently, Google is getting rid of redundancies.
That's a little dramatic, isn't it?
So if you're a fan of Google's quick office apps, download them now while you still can, because Google's planning to pull its quick office apps from Google Play and iTunes over the course of the next few weeks, as the company feels they are no longer needed after recently overhauling its docs, sheets, and slides, which are now available as standalone apps rather than being lumped together. With the integration of Quick Office into Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides apps, the Quick Office app will be unpublished from Google Play and the App Store in the coming weeks, Google announced in a blog post. Existing users with the app can continue to use it, but no features will be added and new users will not be able to install the app. Google acquired Quick Office 2 short years ago. Android and iOS users could use Quick Office to view, edit, and create Word, Excel, and PowerPoint files from their mobile devices, and it even came preloaded on several devices that shipped with Android 4.4 KitKat. However, Quick Office quickly became expendable when Google separated its doc, sheets, and slides into separate apps and attached them to Google Drive. Using Google Drive, users can access each one from their mobile device. It doesn't say, but I would imagine all the work that you did with those, with the Quick Office, I would assume could be read or imported into the.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the goal, to get those files read on any
exactly.
Microsoft product.
Right. Okay, into Google Docs. Okay, all right. Okay. Oh, by the way, before you do your next story, I wanted to do that upgrade alert that we mentioned before. Today, iOS 7.1.2 came out. Okay. This is an update. This update contains bug fixes and security updates, including it improves the iBeacon connectivity and stability. You know what iBeacon is, Ben? You know?
Never heard of that.
Yes. Basically, well, here. It's when you walk. I don't know if you remember the Minority Report, the movie, but when you have an iBeacon running in a store, it will, and senses that you have an iPhone, it will notify you and tell you any kind of specials they might have in the store, and they'll know it's you. According to Apple's release notes, again, I want to finish reading those, and then I'll get to that. It also fixes a bug with data transfer from some third-party accessories, including barcode scanners. So if you use any of those barcode scanners, there was a problem, some bugs with it. I feel like it fixes that. Okay, 7.1.2. And also, this is really important because this was plaguing it for a while. It corrects an issue with data protection class of mail attachments, MAIL, not MALE, MAIL attachments. Okay. Now, here's the thing, because when I updated to 7.1.2, guess what? I got like 5 mails came in that were dated like 2 weeks ago. They were just sitting out there, and and then they came in. I got a couple of updates as well. Now the article here, there's an article here from Apple Insider. It says Apple today pushed an over-the-air update to its iOS mobile operating system, bringing that fixes that enhances iBeacon connectivity and stability while correcting problems with mail attachment, data protection, and data transfer to third-party accessories. According to Apple's release notes, it addresses 7.1.2 addresses issues that may crop up when using third-party accessories such as barcode scanners that connect to an iPhone or iPad. In addition to the iBeacon fixes, it also corrects the problem with the data protection class designations of some mail attachments. 7.1.2 comes just over 2 months after the release of 7.1.1, which brought improvements to Touch ID and keyboard responsiveness. It is not clear how many more maintenance updates Apple plans to provide before the launch of iOS 8, which is widely expected to drop alongside the next generation iPhones this fall. The update, by the way, which comes in as a 23.1 megabyte data file when applied via iOS's over-the-air update mechanism, also contains miscellaneous bug fixes and security updates. You can do it over the air, but it's evidently not as complete as when you actually do it via iTunes. Evidently, you get a little bit more. Apple also updated the Apple TV to version 6.2, but was mum on the included changes. They didn't say exactly what they fixed in that. But that happened. So if you have an iOS phone, if you have an iPhone, and you're running 7.1.1, make sure that you get updated to 7.1.2.
How do you check your version number on your iPhone?
Very simple. You pull out your phone and you select the system utilities. That's a little the settings. It's called settings.
Okay.
Settings, and then you go to general, and then you go about, and you go all the way down. It'll say name, network, songs. Right there.
Oh, okay.
Right there. It says version. It's right in the middle of it.
Got it.
It should say 7.1.2. What is your version? What version?
7.1.1.
Okay, well, not a problem, but just hook it up to iTunes, and when you click on it, it'll say, oh, there's an updated version, and you can get the full version. You can do it while you're on the air.
All right. I'm not going to do it now.
Okay, but it only takes
I'm going to stay unprotected.
Okay. All right.
That's what I do.
Okay, I understand. All right, so you pick a story. Your turn.
All right. This one also from Max and PC, and I was talking to my mother earlier today, and this just blew her mind. So, I figured we'd get it out of the way early. This one from, again, Paul Lilly, Max and PC. Great publication. We should invite him back on.
Yeah.
I believe Paul Lilly was on the show before.
I think he was.
Way back when.
Uh-huh.
And, so apparently Facebook... Yes, hasn't really been getting a lot of good publicity lately. Facebook may have secretly messed with your head for science.
Science?
For science. So, and I guess a lot of things have been done for science that aren't exactly good.
In the name of science.
Yeah. So, not cool, Facebook. Ever wondered how social media can impact your emotions? So did Facebook, data scientists, and 2 other researchers who conducted a study that was recently published by the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, PNAS. Okay. Facebook's controversial study has drawn outrage from many of the site's members because it played with people's emotions without their knowledge or consent, which makes sense. I mean, if you're looking for, good data, you're not going to compromise it by letting them know. But, the study was conducted over a 1-week period in 2012 and included about 689,000 unwitting participants. What the researchers wanted to find out is whether exposure to emotional content led people to post content that was consistent with the exposure, thereby testing whether exposure to verbal affective expressions leads to similar verbal expressions in form of emotional a form of emotional contagion. So, sure enough, the study discovered that users with less positive content in their news feeds use more negative words in their status updates. So, according to James here, a law professor at the University of Maryland, one of the experimental groups had positive words like love and nice filtered out of their news feeds. This, however, was not an observational study. It was an experimental study, indeed a randomized controlled trial in which participants were treated differently. We wouldn't tell patients in a drug trial that studied was harmless because only a computer would ever know that they received the placebo. Unwitting participants in the Facebook study were told, seemingly by their friends, for a week either that the world was a dark and cheerless place, or it was a saccharine paradise. Saccharine. Big word. Yeah. So that's psychological manipulation, and even when it's carried out automatically, that is bad even for Facebook. So the fallout from the study prompted one of the co-authors to offer additional insight into why it was conducted, and an apology to those that were angered by it. And the apology here is, quote, "The goal of all of the research at Facebook is to learn how to provide a better service. Having written and designed this experiment myself, I can tell you that our goal was never to upset anyone. I can understand why some people have concerns about it, and my co-authors and I are very sorry for the way the paper was described, the research and anxiety it caused. In hindsight, the research benefits of the paper may not have justified all of this anxiety." So that's what happened with Facebook.
We have ways of experimenting with you.
Exactly. They filtered out all the nice words out of people's news feeds for a week. Now, mind you, this was all back in 2012, so not exactly, relevant. Like, it's not like the experiment just happened last week and people are already seeing adverse signs. It's just the study, all the results came out recently, and that's what got people angry. So, I mean, personally, I don't see why people would be angry by this. I mean, yes, I get it. They filtered and Facebook manipulated you, and that's bad. Just looking at it face value. But I mean, I'm trying hard to figure out why someone would be upset. What about you, Craig?
If you had all the nice words removed, I don't know if I would notice.
Oh, poor Craig.
Such a harsh world we live in.
I know.
Yeah.
But
I can't remember the last time I heard a nice word.
There's a reason for that, Craig. No, I mean, yes, you can tell me, hey, what if someone took all the nice things from you for 1 week? Yeah, that'd be bad. It's like, hey, what if they did that without your consent? Yeah, that'd be bad. Hey, what if they did this, without you knowing and you provided them all the information? Yeah, that's bad. I mean, it all sounds bad. I'm just trying to.
Anything that's done without your knowledge or permission or surreptitiously usually is not a good thing.
I guess.
You can't generalize for all things, but generally that seems to be the.
But I mean, for this particular instance, I'm finding it hard to get worked up over.
Yeah, I know. Hey, have a nice day.
Yeah, seriously.
Exactly. This is Computer America. We're gonna pause for another brand new news tips bulletin from Marty Winston. We'll be right back.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 120,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, Cover America Auto Care has announced revolutionary, inexpensive mechanical breakdown coverage that is now available to the general public to save consumers thousands on auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for drivers to call who own a vehicle that is less than 10 years old for a free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number is 800-483-2514. Drivers who are covered with this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair again. This is the auto coverage now sweeping across America at a fraction of what dealerships charge and is now available to the public by calling today. The number to call is 800-483-2514. 800-483-2514. That's 800-483-2514.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number. 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Greetings, this is Marty Winston for Computer America with a News Tips Bulletin Review of Rhino Shield. Rhino Shield is one of those transparent plastic protectors fitted to your smartphone touchscreen that's supposed to protect it from, if you will, facial impact, damage, and scratches. And somehow it's supposed to partially repel fingerprints. We won't take issue with the scratch and bang part. We see no real improvement in fingerprint immunity. But there is something we want to vent about. Of the many screen covers through here over the years, and their kits of wipes and dust pickoffs and air bubble presses, there's a constant expression of the ease of a perfect application. Bull. We went through this one 6 times on a well-lighted bench top. The cut is a skosh, too wide to prevent air bubbles and edge lifts, and corrections put permanent fingerprints on the adhesive underside. We finally decided that the fault is not in the deftness of users, but in the arrogant presumptions of the product designers. We're tired of blaming ourselves for an approach that makes perfect alignment and perfect application nearly impossible. We decided to leave it in place for its protection, but it blemishes the otherwise good looks of our Galaxy S4. Bottom line, Rhino Shield helps protect handset glass. This is Marty Winston at the News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show, 33 minutes past the hour. You know, I've had a few run-ins with screen cases, or screen protectors, screen protectors. And, you know, if you get them on right, and you get them on, all the corners match up, it's flush, there's no bubbles, there's no fingerprints on it, you don't even know they're there. But if you mess it up just a little bit, like he was talking about with the Rhino glass, it will bug you to no end. So I mean, some screen protectors actually come in packs of 5. That's just so the first 1 or 2 you put on, you are invariably going to mess it up. So it gives you a couple extra tries. But I mean, they're useful. Don't go about without them.
Yeah, and if you've ever had your phone run over by a truck, you're going to really appreciate the fact that screen won't crack.
I'm not guaranteeing that screen protectors will protect against trucks.
Yeah.
I am, though, saying it will protect you against, I'm going to throw my phone in with my keys in my pocket.
Yes, and get scratched.
It won't scratch.
It won't scratch, absolutely. By the way, we here at Computer America from time to time, it's the option of the host or the co-host to, if we get a really good call, and we sometimes just randomly award a nice prize to the caller. And Lunchbox, evidently your call was appreciated so much by Ben that he's awarding you a prize from our good friends over at Logitech.
I can do that?
Yes, you can. As the co-host of the show.
Oh my God! This is like when like a superpower figures out that he has superpowers.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
God.
So, Lunchbox, we're going to be sending you a Logitech keyboard and mouse, courtesy of our good friends over at Logitech. So, congratulations to you.
I feel like Oprah.
Okay, there you go. All right, so you know, and we do that. Yeah, literally. I mean, it's one of the many superpowers that you have as a co-host here on the Computer America show. So,
My powers, sadly though, for everyone involved, my powers will only grow. So.
Anyway, Ben and I are doing computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities. And why don't you pick another story for us, Ben?
Sure. I'll pick another story while you sign back into the chat room.
Yeah, I just got blown in the chat room. I just love Java. You know, I mean, it's just a joy. It's such a joy.
You know, one of the weird things about using Wix and using the Java chat room, you may not know this, but it's actually kind of nice. Is that because Java runs in its own environment within the Wix website, if you navigate anywhere else on the Computer America website, like, you know, I'm not saying go to, you know, from Computer America to google.com and then come back. I'm saying if you go to Computer America and then go through, you know, the archives or the About Us or anything like that, or the homepage, and then you come back to the chat room, because it's in its own environment, it will not close. It will continue to update. It will just continue to exist, running in the background on the web page.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's one of the nice things about the Java environment. Now, admittedly, that's about one of the only nice things I can say about the Java environment. But you know, at least it's something. At least it's something.
Yes, it is.
So, yes, we're doing computer and technology news, and I like to branch that out sometimes into zoology and sciences, because, you know, what's the point of talking if you don't talk about anything interesting? So, you know, one of the most interesting things I ran across today that I think many people will just be amazed, astonished, and this will be the talk of the town tomorrow. You know, expect to see it on all the big local news agencies and, you know, on CNN and Fox and you know, NBC. Expect it. Craig, do you know which one I'm talking about yet?
The weasel?
No.
No.
The world's smallest elephant shrew has been discovered.
No way. Look how
Yes. These animals look like snouty mice, but are more closely related to elephants.
Really?
That's strange. And, you know, think of a shrew, a tiny field mouse or what have you, something along those lines, except give it a trunk on a tiny little field mouse.
Oh.
And this is what you have with the elephant shrew. And it has a trunk, and so in the remote area of northwest Namibia, there we go.
Okay.
Scientists found a rust-colored shrew which hides amongst the area's reddish volcanic rock. Further analysis found that it is a new species and the smallest of a group of animals called elephant shrews. And they are adorable. Creatures look like mice, but are in fact more closely related genetically to elephants, sea cows, hyraxes, and aardvarks. They also have some bizarre features. They typically give birth to twins, which hit the ground running like calves of like the calves of some type of African antelope. Huh, did not know that. So, you know, scientists have named the animal Macrocelitis mysis. Okay, cool. Adults measure 7 inches long, including the tail, and only weigh about 27 grams, about the weight of 2 tablespoons of sugar. And what sweet shrews they are.
Oh.
So, just discovered today, smallest form of elephant shrew ever found.
Brings a whole new meaning.
It's adorable.
The taming of the shrew doesn't apply to them, though. They're too cute.
Oh, no, they're too cute.
They're
And they have little trunks.
Yeah, I know. They're little trunks.
Google it.
Yeah. Check it out. Okay, this story from Engadget. Windows 9 will morph to fit the device it's running on, according to Engadget. And this is kind of interesting. If you're still holding on to your trusty copy of Windows System with the steely kung fu grip, well, partner, it looks like Microsoft's next operating system, codenamed Threshold or Windows 9 in the common tongue, is aimed right at you. Okay? So if you're a big Windows 7 fan, this could be the one. The OS will apparently ship in 3 different flavors, desktop, tablet, and mobile, and recognize the hardware it's running on and adjust the experience accordingly. Okay? Meaning if you're on a traditional desktop or laptop using a mouse and keyboard, Threshold will boot directly into the Windows desktop you know and love. The live tiled start screen may return for people using touch-based machines like tablets and convertible laptops, although there will supposedly be an option to switch between the two environments if Threshold detects an attached keyboard. What's more, the sources also say that if you're itching to get your hands on the new OS ahead of the reported launch next spring, there will be a public preview version this coming autumn. Ooh, okay. So Windows 9.
So Windows 9. No more dealing with this Windows Blue and Windows Metro and Windows 8.1.
And Mike Miller will be so happy about that.
I bet, until he finally sees Windows 9, and I'm sure he's going to be mad all over again. That's just what Mike Miller does.
Yeah, okay.
He gets mad at things. You haven't noticed?
What?
Mike Miller?
What about him?
He gets mad at things.
He does.
Professionally. And then he writes a book about it.
Yeah, that's right. He's a prolific author. Well, so
he's a funny guy.
Are you gonna? Yeah, he is. That's why we have one of. He's very knowledgeable too. So you think you might go up to Windows 9 then?
I don't know. I have to see it first.
Okay.
Windows 7. I mean, Windows 7 has yet to break. You know, there's nothing been about anything about Windows 7 that's like, oh, you know, you can't do anything about it. Windows 7 is still going strong. It's still very usable, very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what Windows 9 has to offer.
We could.
Oh, this one. I think it closed already. So I'm sure many people have heard of LeVar Burton.
Yes, of course.
He was
Forge.
Yep, George of the Forge, and he was also on the Reading Rainbow. So this one from Engadget, and Reading Rainbow is the most popular Kickstarter to date.
Wow.
So as it turns out, there are a lot of people who want LeVar Burton teaching kids how to read. The Reading Rainbow remake has just become the most popular Kickstarter project ever. It broke the record with over 91,600 backers.
Wow.
That put it ahead of the legendary efforts like the Ouya game console, the original Pebble smartwatch, and the Veronica Mars movie. It still has roughly 2 days left to go of this rating. So, you know, I'm looking at now 39 hours to go as of me talking about it. Wow. So currently it's up to $4,683,000.
Wow.
And ever increasing. So, you know, not that Burton and the crew are content with the numbers, mind you. To spur additional pledges, they offer new perks that include signed art prints and library visits from the bigger spenders. It's not certain that Reading Rainbow will reach its next big objective of 100,000 backers, but we wouldn't rule out the last-minute push that puts it over the top. Suffice it to say that anyone hoping to beat LeVar's final result is going to need a bona fide hit.
Yeah.
So, you know, they have every kind of possible pledge because, you know, we've talked about how Kickstarter works before, and at different pledge levels you get different rewards. And I mean, I remember back when this first started, you know, the original high you know, biggest spender high-end pledge, I believe, was about $3,000. And that included, you know, and one of them was the Ultimate Star Trek experience, where you would go out with Geordi LaForge, and he would wear his old, you know, Star Trek visor, and you would go out and eat at a restaurant with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
So, you know, so he had that going. He had a couple other restaurant ones, and I think eventually it went up to about 10 grand, which at that point he would actually come to whatever library you want, or come to any school you wanted, and he would either film an episode of the new Reading Rainbow at the school, or he would just do, you know, like a meet and greet and read books at the library that you chose. So I mean, he had a lot of great uh, prizes to give away, or benefits to donating. So I mean, all those great things. Apparently, reinventing something old that everyone loved. Everyone loved the Reading Rainbow, and having a big star behind it like LeVar Burton. I consider him big enough. I guess I get to $4.7 million.
There you go. All right. Well,
So,
congrats.
yep.
It's obviously a worthwhile project, and I'm glad that it's going to come to fruition.
Yep, still 39 hours to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you, the ultimate gamer, are going to really appreciate this really rock solid game. Boy, I'll tell you. Finally, according to Wired magazine, a video game that simulates, get this, being a rock.
Oh, yes.
The game's description says it all. For a long time, there's been one game missing for the market, a genuine rock simulator. Okay. Still in development, Rock Simulator 2014. I'm not making this up, folks. Is currently one of the highest ranked games on Steam Greenlight, a community-based system that helps select games for distribution. So what exactly do you do in Rock Simulator 2014? Pretty much what it sounds like. Gaze digitally at silent, immobile stones. Current screenshots include that you will be able to watch beautiful rocks in any location in the world, including grass plains, salt flats, deserts, and mountains. If you think that's a joke, well, it was. It started off as a parody, says Rock Simulator 2014 creator Ryan, who declined to give his last name, and understandably so. But after seeing the great reaction, it is now a completely serious game. A hobbyist developer in Tampa, Florida, Ryan says the game was partly inspired by Goat Simulator, another title that started as a parody of mundane simulation games like Agricultural Simulator and Train Simulator, but it too became real after the internet went wild for it. In other words, Rock Simulator 2014 is a parody of a simulator game that was itself a parody of simulator games, forming a giant simulation forced over and over into playable existence by the collective irony of the internet. So, yeah.
You think it's a joke, though, but it's really not, because Goat Simulator, even though it was a joke over the whole farming simulator, agricultural simulator, all that kind of thing, it was a very highly rated game. And Goat Simulator, I mean, all these simulators, they're kind of made to be used with the Oculus Rift, which is the 3D headset put on, and be able to use 3D view. And the Goat Simulator actually sold pretty well.
Really?
And as for the whole farming, agricultural, train simulators, those are actually the biggest games in Europe right now. I mean, just on Steam alone, they have a couple hundred different types of simulators. Like tractor simulator, farm simulator, all that kind of simulator. And it's really big in Europe for some reason. Just all these simulator games. And I mean, train simulators, I'm sure if anyone remembers back to when trains were a really popular hobby.
Sure, they still are. They're huge. They can still.
Admittedly, it's dying out in recent years since about 100% of the younger population has never ridden a train in their life.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the train simulators, they're really good at, just like train hobbyists, at squeezing all the money they can out of them. Because I know with a certain train simulator, you can spend over 5,000 euros, which I think is something like $8,000. You can spend about $8,000 just on this one game, buying all the downloadable content, all the extras, all the features, all of the expansions. You can spend about $8,000. Let me just say that again, on one simulator game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they're popular.
Well, the response on the game's Greenlight page are half the fun. Most of the parodies our fans' responses to other games. Steam pages. Several commenters asked whether there will be a multiplayer mode, suggest downloadable content, and even request a trading card series for this rock simulator. Another comment grumpily notes that it is not an actual rock sim since it features a third-person view of the rock rather than the first-person perspective of the rock itself. Come on! Several readers demand to know whether they'll be able to customize the rock. Now, Ryan, again, the fellow who's making this, says that his 4-person team plans to have a playable beta version ready for release within several weeks, including dynamic new mini games that involve rocks rolling down hills. Regardless of whether or not Rock Simulator 2014 is greenlit by Steam for distribution, they plan to finish the game and release it for free on the Strange Panther Games website. You will, Ryan says, be able to customize your rock, by the way.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, okay. So now it's really plausible. A rock simulator.
It's amazing what happens when you get a bunch of people on the internet. You're thinking, yeah, sure, they already decoded the human genome, and yeah, we have things in space all the time. Space shuttle launches are not anything, to bat an eye at nowadays. But did you really think you're going to get a rock simulator this early into the game?
No.
Moore's Law is alive and well. In fact, exceeding expectations.
Well.
Yay, rock simulator! Yay.
Maybe this guy is right. Remember the pet rock? And then thought maybe
oh yeah, people thought they were stupid.
And look at that! It was like he made like $1 million.
And guess what?
What?
They were stupid.
But they still bought it.
But they were a trend. Just like the simulators are. This is the same story said over and over again. Trends happen, and simulator are currently one of them. Okay, well, after 2 funny stories, I think we should go with something a little bit more techy, I guess.
Okay.
So let's see, what do we have here? Dragonfly spy malware? Yeah, let's see what that's about. Okay. Spying malware leaves countries' energy grids open to attack. So going from Rock Simulator to how cyber warfare is going to destroy all of our Western civilization, this one from Engadget. And cyber warfare campaigns against Western energy grids aren't just the stuff of action movies these days. They're very, very real. Symantec has discovered a likely state-sponsored hacking group nicknamed Dragonfly that has been using phishing sites and Trojans to compromise energy suppliers in the US and several other countries. Unlike targeted destruction-focused malware like Stuxnet, this appears to be a broader spying effort bent on collecting information about national infrastructure. However, it still creates a backdoor that leaves companies vulnerable to full-fledged attacks if they don't spot the intrusion. It wouldn't take much to create real problems. Symantec hasn't tracked down those behind Dragonfly, but it has plenty of evidence that they're professionals. Most of the attacks occur between weekdays between 9 and 6 p.m. Eastern European time, and they're primarily hitting Western European targets.
Mm-hmm.
They think strategically too. They first focused on aviation and defense agencies around 2011 and switched to power-related companies in early 2013. Also, the suppliers under attack are smaller and less secure than energy providers they're serving. If there's any consolation, it's that companies can shut down individual attacks, and Symantec has already let affected companies and security responders response centers know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just hope that the revelations get firms to tighten their security before there's some major damage.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
just personally, I like the fact that they say they're definitely professionals because they punch a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
They're simply attacking between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. That's the primary way they're professionals.
I have no comment on that, but I remember we did the story about we did something about Arrow. Basically the Supreme Court ruled against them. New York,
Yep.
that's the company that allowed to get free live TV online with the cloud DVR. Basically they would pull this stuff up. Evidently, the Supreme Court ruled against them, and according to this story, Arrow just disappeared for good. Wow. The CEO of the streaming television service Arrow told his customers the bad news in an email Saturday after the Supreme Court decided this week that his company's business methods violate copyright law. Arrow has decided to shut down. He insisted that Arrow is pressing pause, not off, but it's unlikely the service will return in any recognizable form. That Arrow is unlikely to come back from the grave is a simple matter of math. The Supreme Court ruled that Arrow, which streamed broadcast TV to subscribers for about $8 a month, was operating illegally because it didn't pay so-called retransmission fees to broadcasters, something cable and satellite companies are required by law to do. Arrow could return to the straight and narrow by working out a deal and ponying out the fees that the broadcasters who originally brought the suit against Arrow in 2012 demand from cable and satellite companies. Those fees, however, are incredibly expensive. Cable companies can afford to pay them because they're charging viewers plenty for their service. The average cable bill is now over $64 a month. Arrow can't swing those fees by charging customers only a few dollars a month, right? The most obvious survival path for Arrow would be to pass those fees onto its customers by increasing its subscription rates. But here's the thing, the broadcast content that Arrow provides is free to anyone who wants to set up their own cheap antenna on their TV or home. Why? A big part of the government's job in tech policy is regulating the invisible spectrums on which our wireless gadgets rely. Cell phones, radios, broadcast television, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, they all rely on spectrum to work. And basically, that's the whole thing. While Arrow's customers might have seen $8 a month as a reasonable fee to pay for the convenience of watching broadcast content on the laptop, smartphone, or tablet, it's unlikely they'll pay much more for content that's really free for them anyway. So for Arrow, it's lights off for now while they figure out what to do next. Perhaps shift into cloud storage or sell itself into a broadcaster, even. If it ever returns, though, it's not likely it'll look like anything what it does now. Oh, man, just choking.
Yeah, I noticed. I mean, Arrow, they're right where their customers are kind of on the side of, if they're savvy enough to know about Arrow and how it's used, they're savvy enough to know how to get the content for free. Sure. All Arrow did was make it simple, provide the equipment, make the software simple on a simple platform.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they're thinking about becoming Netflix competitors, that probably won't work out too well for them.
No. I think they're done. I think they're toast.
Yeah, which is sad because, I mean, it's a great idea, and it can definitely be done on the cheap. It's just, yay regulation, it's just not going to happen. So poor Arrow for not thinking that one out.
Yeah. Oh, well, it was an interesting idea. But, as you said, because it's all free anyway.
90 seconds.
Yep.
I just had to say bye-bye. Hey, that about wraps up the show for tonight. Again, congratulations to Lunchbox on that keyboard and mouse from Logitech. So, and again, thanks to our guest in the first hour, Doodle. Again, thanks for being on the show with us. You can check them out at doodle.com. Coming up tomorrow, we have an interesting guest in the first hour. It's a company called iPal. You know things that the GoPro and the kind of like monitors what you're doing, but they've got something new. It's a way that you can wear smart glasses to see and record what it is that you're actually seeing. It follows your eyes, and you wear it like a pair of glasses. This is an amazing device, and we're going to have the company's CEO and founder, Dr. Masoul Vaziri, on the show. That's going to be really interesting. iPal. And then the second hour, of course, more computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So have a great evening as we approach the 4th of July weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow night. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy.
10 seconds.
We'll see you tomorrow night.
Elephant Shrew.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, Google Hangouts, thanks for being with us here. on the show. And again, congratulations on the lunchbox and on that keyboard and mouse. We'll get that out to you right away. And we already have your address, and we'll send it to you. And thanks for being with us. And don't miss it tomorrow. iPal. It's going to be a really interesting show. It's a very cool gadget. All right. So
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it is. So we'll see you tomorrow night. Bye.